Hi there, it's John Thompson with the TG Loans Mortgage Team with today's Borrow Smart, Repay Smart lesson. Today we're going to be talking about large down payments versus smaller down payments on real estate. So let me go ahead and get started. All right, whoops, sorry about that. There we go. Okay, so large down payments versus small down payments. The determination of how much money to put in real estate affects, kind of a lot of other areas. And we tend to advise people to look at this from an investment perspective. All investments take into consideration liquidity, safety, and rate of return. And in this case, we're talking about monthly payments and cash flow. We're talking about liquidity. Keep in mind, liquidity is really important. One of the best protection strategies for people is liquidity. We obviously want to explore long-term interest costs and then its impact on your sort of net worth. Right. So in this example, we're going to be comparing an $800,000 purchase price, putting 25% down, which is a $600,000 mortgage, interest rate of 3.875 with total payments, PITI, principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, about $37.88, and $200,000 down payment. We're comparing that to a 10% down, again on a 30-year fixed, $720 borrowing, interest rate a little bit higher, $4,600 payments with taxes, insurance, and mortgage insurance because it's 10% down. So only $80,000 into the property, and then $812 a month in difference in cash flow. So let's play this out a little bit. So over time, 30-year period, 25% down payment, $600,000 in borrowing. Here's what it looked like, the mortgage getting paid off, total payments here. Home value has risen to $1.5 million on a 2% rate of return. And your total payments are about $1.3 million over that time period, which in and of itself is shocking. Okay, so looking at the 10% down payment here. So 10% down payment, and I'm going to kind of blend a couple of different strategies together here. So we got our 720 borrowing, and because we did not put down the entire $200,000, we had an extra $120,000 which we left invested somewhere else, and that money is earning 5% over time. And at the end of the day, the mortgage insurance, you'll see it's 144 down here. The mortgage insurance will drop off in about 5 years, and you'll see that change here. And so that money will be added back into your kind of savings plan. So what's this look like over long periods of time? So interesting enough, you have total payments over here, which include that initial $120,000. The home value is the same, of course. The savings balance, the money's grown to $620,000 over 30 years. You put $80,000 in, you're ahead by $324,000 if you committed to that plan. Now, that plan obviously requires some kind of discipline because you had to invest the $120,000 and you had to actively do the $144 a month when the mortgage insurance fell off. Great thing is you're debt-free in 19 years and 7 months over here, so an interesting kind of an option. But someone could argue, well, great. So if I didn't ever put that money in, my payment would have been lower. You remember we had a payment difference here of $812 a month. And so what if I upfront knew I was going to do that, and I simply took that $812, and let me get this out over here, and I had $812 over here, and I put that money in the savings account at the very beginning of when I started this plan. My big question would be, does anyone actually do that? If you put the down payment in, would you also put down the money that you would not have put into it in terms of payment savings and actively save that money? And for most people, they don't do that. But to keep it fair, we're going to say they did. So if you did that, and then you saved the $812 a month, and that earned 5%, you'd have $291,000, and your mortgage would be paid off in 18 years and 11 months. You're actually ahead. So that combination strategy would work, putting the down payment and saving the money. The big consideration is, do people actually do that? So again, kind of going back to liquidity, safety, rate of return, we're talking about discipline. So the discipline to invest money, to put it to the side, to keep it for emergencies and rainy days. Liquidity, I think, is really important. So if you close and you put all your money into the property, $200,000, you have no liquidity after closing. With the second option, with less money down, you'd have $120,000 as a starting fund. And granted, you'd have a higher monthly payment, but you'd have the $120,000 to draw from, and it protects you and your family if something were to happen, like a job loss or a health issue over time. On a positive side, there's opportunities. So what if you had another property came along or some other investment and you needed that cash to be able to put into it? Once it's inside your real estate, you can't get a hold of it. So kind of think about this over long periods of time. We're not talking about an individual or a single strategy or a single transaction. We're talking about the idea of money into real estate over time and cash flow over time. So neither answer is right or wrong. They're just different. And it depends on your own investment philosophy and your own discipline and the rest of it. So again, I hope you enjoyed this lesson. And if you want to learn more about all that kind of stuff, I can always send you a copy. Oops, that's the back of it. the front of it here, our Borrow Smart, Repay Smart book, and happy to send that to you anytime. Just let us know. All right, take care. Have a great day.